Welcome back into Exit 99 Sports. As always, my name is Caleb Deloach. Today, though, I'm joined by a very special guest, Coach Sommer McCauley-Perdue, the head coach of a couple of teams, Cape Central basketball and volleyball on the girls' side. Notre Dame graduate in class of 2004, Coach?
Yes, sir.
2004, Athletic Hall of Fame inductee over there. Coach, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I'm trying to talk to some of the fall sports coaches in the area, get people ready for the upcoming school year. We're working on football coaches around the area, getting some of them in. I've had Coach Murley over at Jackson in, so trying to get a few interviews in and get people ready for fall sports and also get to know the coaches and the people that they see on the sidelines. So that's kind of just where I want to start. Is you obviously now are the coach at Cape Central, as I mentioned. You went to Notre Dame, though. So what is your background in sports? What all did you do growing up?
I just pretty much just did basketball and volleyball. When I would try to add another sport, my mom wasn't having it.
Too much time.
Yeah, because I was just a gym junkie, or if I couldn't be in the gym, I was outside with the boys, not really the girls. I just wanted to play, very competitive.
Yeah. And you used to play basketball, volleyball at Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. You guys had a lot of success while you were there. You guys went to, I think 3 Final Fours in volleyball, or 2 in volleyball, 3 in basketball, and a state championship in basketball.
Yep.
So yeah, you played on some very, very good teams. You were also pretty good yourself.
Yeah, I had some awesome teammates.
Yeah. And so you went from Notre Dame playing volleyball, basketball, and then you went on and you did the same thing in college. You played both sports, right, when you went to Jeffco?
I went to Jeffco, and I played both.
Yeah, what was that experience like? I guess, was it just kind of the same for you, just like schedule-wise and everything, or was it even busier since that higher level?
Because I stayed so busy in high school, it kind of like rolled over and I was used to it. The only thing that really changed was the physical part and the workout part. It was like, with me doing 2 sports, and I was the only athlete there that did 2 sports, I had to find a medium. So it'll be practice maybe 4:30 in the morning, go to school, and then 4:30 in the evening. I am so sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, I swear I put my phone on vibrate. But 4:30 in the morning, practice for 1, go to school, and then 4:30 in the evening for the other sport. And then I left 2 weeks after high school because I can get some classes out the way during the summer. So it was just all work.
Yeah, so that was kind of, I guess, like you said, that was your personality growing up. You always wanted to be in the gym. You always wanted to be kind of the hardest worker out there around people.
Yeah, I had some hard examples to come by. My 2 brothers, and I was always at every game. They was Cape Central Tigers, and I was at every game with them. They played 3 sports, baseball, football, and basketball. And by 4th grade, I was like, I wanted to play. And my dad was like, are you serious? Because I came from a very competitive family, and a sports family. Yep. And it was like, if you're going to play, you're going to give 100%. Yeah. So that's how it started.
Yeah, and so obviously, I guess we'll get to, what led you to coaching. So you went from Jeffco, then you went to Missouri Baptist, is that right? And continue playing basketball there?
I continued playing basketball there. And then when I got offered to play volleyball, I tore my ACL, MCL. So I just ended the year and graduated.
Yeah, I understand that. This is now, yeah. So tearing your ACL, MCL, that's brutal. Was that done playing basketball? Or
no. One of my competitive moments. I was wrestling.
Nice.
And I kind of hit a guy too hard and he couldn't take it. Kind of tried to force me down and my knee gave out. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, okay. That's no fun at all. Yeah. So you went from Notre Dame 2004 and went to Jeffco, Mobap. So when did you graduate from Missouri Baptist?
2010.
To 2010. So you just became the coach at Cape Central this past season, right? First year. So what was that journey like in between? So what got you to the point you are now, where you're decided to get into coaching?
It started about 2021, and my oldest, she's wanting something different, and so I was checking out the school and I wanted her to go to the grade school I went to, which was St. Mary's. And so she got there her 7th grade year. And I was watching the games and how they were being coached. And I'm like, man, I would love to do that again.
Yeah.
So the very next year, I volunteered to do basketball. And then the very next year, basketball and volleyball, and just fell in love with it. And then junior high came around. I started interacting with certain kids, and a friend of mine was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm not coaching anymore because the numbers had went down. And, you know, that happens with private school.
Right.
And I was like, well, I was coaching. I really want to coach. She's like, well, we got a position here at the junior high, and I would love to coach with you, and you'll be the head coach. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. I'll put my application in. I was like, well, really my desire, I really want to coach at the high school level.
Right.
And she's like, hey, you got to crawl before you walk. And she's like, hey, get in here right here, and then we can work on the next level. So I got there at the junior high, had a very successful year. It was the first time, I wouldn't say it's the first time because I have to look at the record, but that I know of, it was the first time with Jackson, they had a tournament to junior high that we won it.
Wow.
And we had a really good year. And I had met the coach that I knew that was going to be the head coach at Central. We had became kind of friends with me doing traveling ball. And he was like, he was wanting to work with me. And we did not know who each other was. He just liked how I coach. And to find out he ended up being the head coach. And then I put the application in for the assistant coach. So the world has a funny way of doing things.
So I say you got in there at Cape. What, well, I guess the first good question is how hard was that transition at first, going from being a Notre Dame grad to putting on orange and black every day?
It was, I wouldn't say it was hard. Okay. It was kind of like me trying to be respectful of others. Because, I mean, I am a diehard Notre Dame person. I mean, I went there. I love what they instilled in me. And that's a lot what I instill in the kids of how I was brought up, how I was trained, and the athlete that they should be. But I was literally wearing blue, so like I put my blue in the back of my closet.
Had to retire the blue,
Yeah, and then when like I have something that's obvious of that's relevant to something we're talking about, and it might be something that happened at Notre Dame, I'd be scared to talk about it because I don't know how people feel, because I know Notre Dame is a rival.
Yeah,
I mean,
a good rival.
It's honest, and it's an innocent rival, but it's still at the same time you don't want to offend. So I kind of like not do too much. So I told people, I was like, I still bleed blue, but I have a heart of a tiger.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Yeah, I haven't had to do that. I just have to. I live in a house where it's a split because I graduated from Jackson. My wife graduated from Cape, and so she usually enjoys basketball season, and I usually enjoy football season. We're able to get one over on each other in those 2 times a year usually. So, so you said you got into Cape Central recently. What did you do? Any maybe coaching your kids when they were even like younger, or do any like training stuff like that in the like individual training before you became like an actual school coach?
Yes, I would take my daughter to the gym, which came with other players, and then it had built where I just started going randomly during the summer and be like, hey, if you guys got any kids, they want to work on their fundamentals, I make myself available. I didn't charge anybody, so while I was working on her, I worked with other kids, and it kind of grew until my schedule got too overwhelming. I couldn't do it anymore. But yeah. No,
I understand that. You, so how was that? So you just mentioned, you have a daughter. You just had a daughter who graduated, right? That was playing for you. Mm-hmm. What was that experience like, getting to coach your own daughter at the high school level?
Well, I got to coach her at the grade school, and like I told you, it's competitive at my house. So it's a lot of things I had her doing at home, training. And so when I did get the position at the high school, well, she was one of the people that was like, hey, Mom, we need somebody that, can really push us. And I feel like you can do it. And because I really kind of walked slow or dragged my feet and put the application in. Because it was another young lady that had worked at the school that was on a head coaching job, and I was pushing her, and I got reprimanded by other people like, hey, I know you always supporting everybody else, but hey, don't put yourself behind. So she encouraged me. Me and her got talked about it, how the balance will be. And I was like, you know how it's going to be. I'm going to hold you accountable, and I'm going to be a little bit harder on you, because if I show any favoritism, then others would think they could get away with things. So she got a lot of it, but she understood the assignment, and it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know from the couple games I definitely caught of you guys and watched some of them online too. She definitely, she earned it too. She was a very good player. So that's very, very cool to see. So becoming a coach, so how is that, or I guess you became the volleyball coach first, and then how much long after that was it like, hey, we also need a basketball coach? What are you thinking about that?
It was like
the same day? Okay, at the same time?
It was like, I would say within a month or two.
Okay.
And with that situation, the coach had resigned for whatever reason that he did, and it was kind of somewhat last minute to try to find someone else, and with the kids' comfort. So the kids came to me and was like, Coach, it wouldn't be right if it was somebody new, and we got to build something over. And I felt obligated to do that to make sure the kids was comfortable and they get the same instructions. So I went on and signed up for that too.
Cool. So for the foreseeable future, you're planning on doing both still?
Yeah, until I just can't do it anymore.
Until you run out of gas there.
Yeah.
So like you said, it is probably a big undertaking. What is it like trying to, juggle two sports and two seasons that are back to back?
It's a lot of prayer and naps.
I get that.
But anyway, I try to balance it out of how I do things. Like right now, it's 2 days a week for each one. So it's like Monday, Thursday is basketball. Tuesday, Wednesday, volleyball. I try to do any tournaments or anything, whereas 1 week in volleyball and the next weekend is basketball. Okay. So I'm still like a gym junkie, and I did have a job, but I just let it go.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a pretty full time when
yeah, I work during the day and then straight to the gym. But all the kids understood the assignment, and as long as they saw my commitment, they bought in. So.
Yeah, well, that's cool. And I guess we can kind of talk about this team you have. We'll start with talking about the past season a little bit. You guys, really, really good year one, 24-9-3, I think is the record. I mean, that was, I went back and looked. That's the best record I could find in the last 15 years for Cape Central. So I mean,
we broke
that was a heck of a year one.
Yeah.
So what do you think, or I guess start more general here. What are kind of your obviously you talked about being somebody who's you expect your kids to be very driven, put in the hard work that they need to get the results. So what are kind of some of your foundational ideals or pillars of your program there at Cape?
I really try to drive culture and discipline, and I speak about it almost every day. And my quote of the day all the time is, we want volunteers, not hostages. Yeah. And if you don't want to give 100%, this is not for you. And I was like, when I came in, I said, I know it's a lot of things that you guys have learned, and we're going to move from that. We're going to do it differently, and it's going to be progressions. And so I came in hot. I mean, the conditioning of what I have learned when I was at school would work, what made them mentally tough. And they really bought in. And I was like, we're trying to build a winning culture that Central is on the map. We are to be looked at. We are to be reckoned with, and we got to build that confidence. So that's how I came in, working with the mental first before even the physical. Because a lot of times, with teenagers, it's more of the mental that you have to deal with and train before you even get to the physical.
Right. And did you... I would guess, obviously you had a ton of success as a player in high school. Did you feel like you were able to draw off, like you kind of mentioned, some of the coaches and people in your life like that really, you were able to use some of the lessons you learned and playing in college and everything?
Oh, yes. I mean, God has blessed me as far as my leadership and coaching, especially it started at grade school. I had some of the same coaches all up to high school. Like at St. Mary's, I had Coach Helen Payne and her husband, Coach Mike Payne, and then I had Coach Helen Payne with volleyball, and then I had her daughter with volleyball the rest of my season. Okay. And then with basketball, I had Coach Jerry Grimm, and they held me accountable. I mean, I got kicked out of the practice about twice because of my stubbornness, but I mean, they molded me. And where I'm at now, and that's the same kind of teachings I teach the kids. Yeah. Yeah, and something you mentioned, wanting to put
giving those kids the confidence and like putting Cape Central on the map and stuff like that. That is, I mean, it's kind of been a big question for me as somebody on the outside looking in for a long time. Like I said, I went to Cape through sixth grade and I moved. So I knew a lot of the kids as I kept getting older that played sports. And I've always wondered, on the boys' side, they've had a lot of success in different things. Football, has gone to the Final Four a few times, went to a state title game about 10 years ago. Basketball has pretty consistently been very, very good, the last 20 years. I've always kind of wanted more, like you said, out of, the girls' programs. I mean, you guys have very high-level athletes that I've seen and been around. And I've always, kind of wondered what that disconnect might be between, getting the results out on the floor.
With me, it was just a lot of me talking to them, their mind, constantly encouragement. You could do this, pushing them, making them believer and buy in. When I came in, I said, hey, you guys can win districts. Yeah. You guys can beat the record of wins. You just have to believe it and buy into it. And it was constantly me repeating myself because one thing I have learned is when you're repetitive, that you start to walk through it, you start to think it, and it was every day with the kids, constantly giving them their praises, pushing them and holding them accountable. Yeah,
and like you said, it's being repetitive, but it's showing them consistency. I think is a big thing for kids. You have 4 children. I have a very small one. I have a 1.5-year-old right now, and that's even at that age you can tell just like being consistent, letting them see you be the same person all the time. They know that, they can see you as you are a human. So you do, your emotions do fluctuate, but, be consistent. That usually gets, I feel like, the best results. Yeah. Yeah. So that's really cool though. You guys, like I said, had a great season, 24 wins. That's the most you said in program history. So yeah, I mean, it's a heck of a first season. And you guys, I mean, I looked at the schedule. Y'all never really had a, talk about being consistent. You never had a rough stretch, it felt like. Like I wrote down the stretches here of, you started the season, you went 4-1 at the Hillsborough Invitational. You came back, went 4-1 against local teams. You went 4-1-1 at Dick for Life, 5-1 then against local teams and conference teams. You went to the conference tournament, Perryville tournament back-to-back, went 3-3-2, and then 3-1 to close out the season. So like you guys never, you didn't have like a, big lull or anything like that. I feel like that's a big part of it.
Yeah, they stayed committed. I had a special group of seniors that really, really, they wanted it and they did a lot of sacrifice. I mean, I had one kid that literally, I took her from another position that she was all conference, all district in, to put her in another position that was going to make the team more successful. Right. And she was also injured with her wrist, and she prolonged her surgery to after the season because she believed it was going to go that far. And then I had another senior that had back spasm and a pinched nerve. That was my defensive specialist. Jeez. She was supposed to be out, and she was like, no, coach, I want to see this to the end. So I had a lot of dedication for my senior. I mean, I'm grateful for them. They made it a little bit easier to come in and try to bring in my philosophy. And I love them. They got a special part in my heart.
Yeah, like you said, you had a really, really good senior class to start out with. Like you mentioned, you had your own daughter on the team. But you guys had a very solid group. Like I said, I was looking at some of the stats earlier, and like Piper Underwood was fantastic. Led you guys in kills. It was like did a little bit of everything. Second in aces, second in blocks, second in digs. You said you had your daughter Ella was first in assists. Ashlyn was second in assists. So you guys had a lot of very, very good seniors. And I feel like in all programs, that's probably very, very important from a coach, having that
when
leadership.
You have upper class leadership, it is very important. I mean, a lot of times when you get younger ones, they don't want to step in the roles to step on toes. So it was a blessing.
Yeah, so you guys have a really good year. You get knocked out in the district semis to Farmington. Like I said, very good, like great first year, like best record ever. And you guys went 9-1 at home, which also feels like a pride thing, especially in that senior class.
Oh yeah. And then it's like we're not to let anybody win on our floor.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's all about pride, like you said. And and that, I mean, once again, not just slam on anybody before, but that is something that I feel like is important when it comes to a program. And like building a program is, teaching them to hey, expect excellence, and then, excellence will come eventually.
Yes.
And not to mention winning also helps, especially like keeps kids focused and locked in.
Yes, especially when you're trying to build a program and bring kids there. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, we have so many different elementary schools. We got different private schools, and you don't want them to bypass you.
Right.
You want them to come to your school. You want them to bring the athleticism there. So if we are doing well, then you'll have ones wanting to come there. So.
Yeah, and that was, I knew Coach Nathan Norman that coached at Cape a decade ago or so, and that was what he talked about very early on, was like the biggest thing, for success. He's like, you walk in PE class or something every day. He's like, you see guys that can play, and I assume it's the same way for you on the girls' side. Like, one of your biggest beginning obstacles is probably just kind of recruiting the people you have in the building already to get them motivated to play, locked in, to keep playing year after year. Don't ever kind of lose that passion to keep coming out there. So good year one, a lot of success, and then you had to jump right into basketball then right after that, which also
I had 1 week break and it was all right.
And we'll get to maybe if I don't scare you off by the time we're done, we'll come back for a basketball interview in maybe a month or two. But basketball season went pretty well for you too. First year one, it was I saw a quote from you being like, this is a rebuilding year, but by the time your guys' season was over with, you guys were playing really, really well the last month or so.
Yeah, and I told them that at the beginning. I said, it's going to look ugly right now, but at the end, it's going to make sense. And at districts, when we did our upset,
that was crazy.
It was a click, like, oh my God, we can do this, Coach Sommer. And I'm looking at them, I've been telling you the whole year.
You're like, I've said that for the last 5 months. Thank you.
Right.
I'm glad you finally believe me. So back to volleyball here, though. So the season ends. What, it's kind of unique for you having to be a basketball coach, but what does the off season look like for you guys for volleyball? What do you let them go do their own thing? I know there's club volleyball, stuff like that. What is kind of the last game of volleyball until whatever the summer comes around?
Pretty much with volleyball, I don't have a lot of numbers that's doing travel, but I'm pushing it because it does really help. And at the public school, it's kind of harder for kids to be like, they're going to go to travel because of the money and the finances. So I'm pushing it. I'm trying to find ways of even how I can raise money to have more kids be in it. But as soon as volleyball season in October, I think November, travel ball starts.
Okay. In
November. And it doesn't end till May, depending on which season and how high they ranked on their team.
Yeah. So I had some experience with that. So I worked from the time the Sportsplex opened. I worked there up until a couple of years ago, pretty much every day. So I saw a lot of travel volleyball, a lot of club teams in the area. How I get you said, it seems like you're in favor of it. How big of a positive impact is that having a kind of a good club volleyball kind of area, I guess. It's not St. Louis, obviously, but I feel like there's a lot of, kind of options here, and there's a lot of girls kind of plugged in.
I mean, yeah, I got it on video. I appreciate the travel teams around here in SSC and Pursuit and what they are instilling in the kids, because it's appreciation from a high school coach. The appreciation when the kids can be doing volleyball outside of the school year, working on their fundamentals and getting better. So I am a big advocate of it. I mean, my daughter played all the way until the end, till June to be exact. Thank God it's over. But I appreciate it, and it really, really helps a program when you got kids that's getting that extra work in.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, extra work, and I think it always helps when kids do get to hear like different voices, or maybe like you said, they get put in different spots. Maybe they're not used to. Kind of get them out of their comfort zone at times too. So yeah, that happens. So you guys pick up then in the summer and start doing summer stuff. So what all do you guys do in the summertime wise, y'all?
During the summer, at the first week of the first month, we're not doing in June. We just do a lot of invitation back into it, practices, seeing where everybody is at, the incoming freshmen, and going over rotations, fundamentals. And then July, we go right into it with the competition. I make it a heavy schedule in July. Like literally every week is either it's a scrimmage day or we doing one of the Rib City tournaments with Coach Burley.
Right.
And then I host play days at the school. So constantly we're trying to build chemistry in between the team, working with rotations, bringing in the freshmen to get them aligned with the high school. So that's mostly my focus.
Yeah. See, I come at, like, I played high school basketball, and so I do feel like it's important. I guess it sounds like it's very important to you to kind of, playing games is important. Like you can, obviously it's very important to do like individual skill stuff and, try to get all those individual skill stuff down, but you've got to be able to apply it to like the actual game scenario. So I assume you it sounds like you feel like that's very, very important to get them in there and just like get reps in game
experience.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So so you guys have played a bunch of tournaments. I saw you guys were just up at Windsor, just doing that. So how has the whole team, the whole program looked from top to bottom here? I know there's going to be a lot of, new people progressing up. So you have a lot of new faces, I assume.
Yeah, I do. I even have a freshman that's playing up and pushing her and putting her in a different position she's never played in. But the way it started and the mindset and us working together, we had to build our chemistry. And we built our chemistry in June. And then after our competition, we started seeing where our strengths and weaknesses were and where we were stronger in different areas. And after our last competition was at Windsor, you start to see it blossom.
Yeah.
And then the kids was like, oh my God, we got it.
Yeah.
And the chemistry and seeing even my juniors that are our seniors now, they'll be the incoming seniors. They're stepping in. I'm really pulling on them for leadership. Hey, watch how you say things. It's okay to give, positive criticism, but watch how you say it because we're trying to build up the program. We want them to listen to you. And they have bought into that. They're talking to their teammates and the chemistry and build. I'm really, really excited for this upcoming season.
Yeah. So, I alluded to it earlier. You guys had a really, really good senior class last year. But the unfortunate part about having a really, really good senior class is those kids do move on. And so I have really depressing numbers to tell you if you want to hear some depressing numbers.
Okay, I'm going to keep smiling.
Okay, just keep smiling. In just, between Piper and Alea, there's 556 kills graduating, 150 blocks. 848 assists are going out as well for Ella Hukel and Ashlyn Hickey. So I guess one more depressing, 113 aces as well out the door. So we move on. Who are some of the returners that are maybe those ones going to be seniors or just people that have been in the program? Who are some of the girls that have been feel like really progressing here over the summer?
I really have a strong senior group coming in this year. They learn a lot from the seniors before, and they also know that they have to step up. But one that I know, her numbers are going to be good regardless. She's amazing, Sydney Miller.
Right, and she just committed to SEMO this not too long ago, right?
Yep, about 2 months ago she committed to SEMO. She's going to be consistent all the way around. Even working on playing all the way around with the defensive part. She has really, really developed into an awesome player, and she has improved majorly since just last year in a short time.
Right.
And I'm excited for her. And then my libero, she's a very good libero. I give her a lot of credit. She's a leadership in the back row. She kind of is a coach in the back row. She tells people where to see. She runs everything. She's in talk to the front and what we should be running and what she sees or even where they need to serve at. And that's Elma Smith. She has really stepped into the leadership department. And then I have Sophie and Ella McGowan and Aaliyah Jackson that are new additions. Okay. Well, not Sophie, but Aaliyah Jackson and Ella McGowan. I had them playing JV last year because I was stacked. Yeah. But I didn't want them to be sitting the bench. So I still want them to get their hands on the ball and still be working on things because I knew this year I was going to need them. They have started to progress. They have stepped up, and a returning younger one this she was a sophomore, she'll be a junior this year, is Layla Burkfield.
Okay.
We are pretty solid of returns and people who are going to be playing this year, and then this year I'll be pulling up a freshman that will be setting.
Okay.
And she has been doing awesome. She's bought into, I was like, hey, I know you've been hitting. I know you've been playing defense. Let me see your hands. Because I felt like that was one of the things I was going to really need.
Right.
And her hands is good. So every day for 30 minutes before practice or however, I'm working on her hands, telling her what to do this. And she's so athletic. She plays volleyball and basketball. She caught on pretty fast, and it made things look different. And then we have another senior that will be setting also. So we pretty solid.
So what? This is something else I've learned, by the way. My goal is to be able to like watch volleyball and like understand what's happening out there and be able to see what's happening. So what kind of formation are you guys running then? So that is, you guys a 6-2?
6-2 right now during the summer.
During the summer, okay.
But it may go to a 5-1.
Might be a 5-1. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is something I looked at Coach Murley, and it was the last person I talked to. I was like, explain what these numbers mean to me.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I've watched volleyball. I've watched a lot of volleyball. I had two younger sisters that both played at Jackson, and so like I can look and tell you what good volleyball is and what bad volleyball is. But outside of that, I'm working to learn volleyball is my goal.
But I watch other teams, and depending on what they're doing, is I change it up.
Yeah.
So it'll probably flip flop a lot this year until we find that real strong dynamic of what we want to do.
Yeah. And you mentioned we talked about Sydney Miller, who's committed to SEMO, and you mentioned how you're working with her to maybe play all the way around more and do more things, and how important is it whenever you have somebody who is girls, I assume, definitely like look up to just skill wise as being like, hey, this girl is willing to maybe do extra stuff for the team, and then that's kind of a good leadership example, I feel like, for them.
Yes, and she really have stepped up. She's just a ball of energy, and she wants to do it and offer some offense from the back row. So it looks good for her. It's also preparing her for the next level.
Right.
Just keep working on her craft and improving.
Yeah, because at here she definitely stands out size wise, height wise, length wise. But then, like you said, once you get to SEMO, there's going to be a lot more people your own size, and you might end up having to play out of position in your own mind, do something completely different. So
yes,
yeah, that's definitely important. And you mentioned a couple other people I know. So I really kept up with this past track season for Cape and Jackson and Notre Dame and Saxon, everybody. I know. You mentioned Layla Bergfeld and Leah Jackson. Both really, really good on the track, too, as well. So I know they're both pretty good athletes outside of just all-around being
Yeah, Leah could jump out the gym, and Layla is not shortcoming of that either.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's exciting. So, I mean, you have, like you said, a lot of people coming back that are definitely going to bring good experience. So you, like you said, you're just trying to find the people around them, find the program. So are you still... do you do like still hands-on coaching with like the junior high level as well?
Yes, this year it was the first year I was able to, because last year with the late hire somewhat, I didn't get to get my little hands in things, and then I had to go through a transitioning of getting new coaches. But we want to get a junior high and high school alignment where the junior high is doing the same thing at the high school. So when they do transition, it's not that difficult for them to fall in. So my practices, I do junior high practices too, and I'm hands on them. We get our 20 contact days in that we're able to have during the summer, and I also have been putting them in tournaments. So
yeah, and like you mentioned, I feel like that is really important, like having everything being kind of linear throughout your program, and I feel like that's something you probably have seen a lot of from Notre Dame and things like that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So doing both. You like to be busy.
Yes, I do.
High school, volleyball, basketball. Are you doing it? Do you do any of the lower level basketball stuff as much? Because that goes on in the fall.
Yes, I also work with my junior high during the summer.
Yeah.
So I have my junior high practices a little bit earlier, and then I go into my high school practices, and then I have competitions with them.
Nice. Yeah, you just sit in the gym and just people just keep rotating all day long.
I mean, my coach is always like, Coach, you could take a day off, but I be feeling like if I'm not here, I feel like I'm letting the kids down.
Yeah.
And I'm always the first person there. I come like literally 30 minutes to an hour early just to get my head wrapped around my practice plan and what I want to do. And then I'm the last one to leave every day too.
Yeah, it's probably important though, like you said, trying to manage 2 different sports, a bunch of different,
But I want to be the example for them too of my commitment. So
exactly. So, looking at this next year, the schedule is out. Your first kind of games will be up at Hillsborough again. Mm-hmm. So what? I guess we'll kind of just break down a little bit of the schedule here. Talk about some of the things you're gonna be doing. You guys played at Hillsborough last year. What do you think about kind of the competition up there? Because it's kind of different. It's a little bit everywhere. You guys play like Bayless, Poplar Bluff, Hillsborough. So decent teams up there in the tournament.
Yeah, I was wanting to play more. When I was talking to AD about the schedule, I wanted to play more northern schools and bigger schools to give us a little bit. Not saying down here is not no competition, because we got competition down here. Yeah. I give credit when credit is due. But I was wanting to play more northern schools that we'll see like in districts.
Right.
And see how we can handle it and adjust. So I think it was only one. I think it was only Hillsborough that is in our districts.
Right.
But we did very well. We ended up losing to Hillsborough and got second place.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience seeing different types of teams, and the girls handled it well. So.
And then once, like this season again, you guys are going to be in Dig for Life, which is definitely a big tournament. Lots and lots of teams from around the area playing in it. It is a little bit repetitive probably at times. Like you said, I know looking at last season, you guys saw Saxony, you saw Notre Dame, Kennett. So a lot of teams that might be in the SEMO conference there. But yeah, so you guys, once again, played well there. But what do you think about the competition Dig for Life? How do you enjoy playing at Dig for Life, having all the different teams here and stuff like that?
I appreciate Dig for Life. I like the competition. I like also sitting there and watching other teams. And it was a very good experience for me, especially being different of coming from being in the stands to on the sidelines. So it was a good experience. It's a great tournament. And I loved it. So
yeah. And then it looks like you're playing against Valley this year up at Valley tri-match on here. Is that's the thing? So it's going to be, I don't know who's all going to be, you guys in Valley. Valley going up there and play is always very, very tough in their gym up there.
They're a very good team. We actually go next week, our last day, and play day with Valley Catholic next Wednesday.
Yeah, very good program up there. And then I say the last outside the area tournament, you playing up at Perryville, which is some of those schools up in that area, kind of that corridor between St. Louis and Perryville up there. So it's more good competition up there, I would say as well. And then, I guess we can talk about a little bit of the local teams here. You guys are in the SEMO conference. SEMO conference has been, especially like this past year, you guys won 24 games. I think Dexter and Notre Dame won 24 games. Obviously, Jackson was up over 30. So the SEMO conference is very, very competitive
strong
right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then are you expecting to be pretty similar this year? I don't know who all outside of like you guys, Jackson, Notre Dame, have coming in and out, but you're expecting conference still to be pretty consistent.
I expect it to be still, competitive and a strong conference.
Yeah. And you guys see a lot of, even some of the smaller schools in this area, I feel like the small schools as well really hold their weight in this area. I mean, you get a lot of, like the Advances of the world and win state titles every year. Potosi wins state titles.
We didn't get to play Potosi.
St. Vincent, I think, went to, like you guys play a lot of these really, really good programs from around here. And this, I feel like this area is, maybe deceptively strong at volleyball.
Yeah, we have loaded talent down here. So, yeah, well-rounded programs, small and big. So,
yeah. So it's going to be a good year, Coach. I'm sure you're excited to get the actual game started here. You have, at time of recording, about a month to go. Are you ready to get? You ready to see some other teams get the games where they actually count?
Oh yeah. I'm overly excited. I wish it was fast forward about a couple weeks because we go right into it next month. I mean, the 30th, right into the tournament. And then with our schedule, we're like literally hardly no days off.
Right.
It's like if it's not 2 games, then a practice, and then another game, and then the very next week it's the same. It's the same. So.
Yeah, looking at that. Do you enjoy that as a coach, just having it just be you're just facing live ammo, just all, like from the start to finish?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really don't like when it's like a dull minute and it's like a whole week you'll have off. And then you also want to be careful of the kids not being burnt out with practice. So they going to competition, love it. They want to go. But when it's practice, the kids kind of get burnt out. Then you have to decide if, let's just have a day off.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, getting the year started, what are kind of, I don't know if this is something you've talked about with your team or anything like that. What are maybe goals or just expectations you have for your girls coming into the season?
Really what my goal for them today is just, for the season is just for them to buy in and give 100%.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for, is for them just to give 100% and buy into what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And it's a we thing, not an I thing.
Right. Well, Coach, excited to get the season started. I'm excited to see you guys out there in action. Like you said, I'm excited to see new faces and see how you guys respond. Another good year, hopefully.
Yes.
Out there for you all. So I'll say best of luck, and let's go break some more records while we're at it out there.
Thank you. And I just want to tell you, I appreciate you for this opportunity and giving us coaches the floor to just give exposure to our programs.
Yeah, that's what I want. I say it a lot on here. I do this not so anybody knows who I am. My only goal is for, people to get more eyes on these kids. Like you said, they've been out here practicing and playing 1,000 games all summer long and doing all the work. They're the ones running lines, not me. So, I just want more exposure for, outside of, I'm can be partial to, football or basketball and things like that. But, my goal is also to get more people out here to see, I talked about volleyball, track and field, swimming, golf, whatever anybody would be interested in. Go see what these kids are doing. Like you talked about, these kids are all working really, really hard, and, we hold them to high expectations when they're out there. And I think, people need to go see them and kind of reward that hard work that they put in.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So, Coach, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. As always, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I appreciate it. And we will see you in the next one. Thank y'all.